America's back.
If elected, the 46th president plans to reverse several of President Trump's policies by executive orders.
The United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
But Biden wants to rejoin the Paris Climate Accord.
Climate change and climate warming, global warming, is an existential threat to humanity.
The former VP wants net zero emissions by 2050 and proposed $2 trillion in clean energy and infrastructure spending.
We will be today terminating our relationship with the World Health Organization.
Again, Biden plans to reverse that move. He also wants to rejoin the Iran nuclear deal as long as the regime comes back into compliance.
Iran has a robust, impressive ballistic missile system that can deliver a nuclear warhead, and now they're very precise, and now they have what they call a missile train where they can fire multiple ballistic missiles at one time. And even Israel, with probably the world's best anti-missile system, may not be able to hit all those incoming missiles.
Iran claims it would reduce its stockpile of uranium if Biden lifts sanctions on Tehran, which Iran's foreign minister suggests could be done through 3 executive orders. Biden also aims to use executive powers in these areas, repealing Trump's travel ban from Muslim countries like Iran, Libya, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen, reinstating the Dreamers program, which allows kids of undocumented immigrants to remain in the U.S., and undoing Trump's 2017 order banning transgender individuals from the military. In a Biden administration, they would serve openly in the armed forces. Now, Biden's team is planning the EO route in case the Senate control stays in Republican hands, making legislation a challenge. We won't know that outcome until early January. Ben Kennedy, CBN News.
Well, get ready for big changes. This is just sort of the beginning, if you will. One of the current concerns I have is the World Health Organization. The documentation is quite clear that they allowed China to cover up, and they allowed China to make sure the world did not have the sources of the pandemic, and they've admitted that now in the early months of this. You go back to January, February, and March, and they were praising China at the same time, enabling China to cover it up. They admitted it, but nobody seemed to pay attention to that. And for us to say, well, we're willingly going to get back into a organization that said, well, by the way, we lied to you about the biggest health crisis in the world. That literally makes no sense. Why in the world will we ever support that? We need to get the source of COVID, how it happened. We still don't have honesty out of China as to what really happened in Wuhan. And that, I think, is necessary. So that's just one area. Here's one that I hope, if there is a new administration, I hope they take very seriously. Go back to 1994 and the crime bill of 1994, which if Biden is the president-elect, well, he voted for that back in 1994. That has led us to be one of the most incarcerated nations in the world. Can we reverse that? And can we recognize that that crime bill sparked horror within the African American community, where 35% of African Americans aged 18 to 35 today have some kind of relationship with the criminal justice system. They're either in jail or on parole or under indictment, and it's a disproportionate impact on the African American community. My hope is that we can finally see some change to that and stop being a police state and stop incarcerating people at a rate that no other country in the world